Which position battles do you need to be looking out for this week for the preseason game against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers? That's the question that I'm going to be answering on today's edition of Steelers Talk. But before we get into that, go ahead and subscribe to the channel because we are going to be going live for tomorrow's preseason game between the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This is coming out on Friday, or this is coming out on Thursday, so it is tomorrow. And we'll be doing a live watch party for every single preseason game and every single regular season game live here on the channel. So if you want a place to kick it with your fellow Yinzers, this is going to be the place for you. Click that subscribe button and turn on your notifications so you never miss a game. And now we're starting with the first position battle that you need to watch, in my opinion. That's left tackle. And, of course, whenever a first-round pick plays in his first NFL action, you're going to want to see him play. But right now, Dan Moore Jr., last year's starting left tackle, is the presumptive favorite to be the starting left tackle when the Steelers play the 49ers in week 1 of the regular season. The reason for that is plain and simple. He's the better pass protector between him and Broderick Jones right now. Now, the first-round rookie out of the University of Georgia. Really good run blocker, really athletic. I think he's got a very bright future in this league. However, he is a step behind Dan Moore Jr. in terms of pass protection right now. And right now, you got to protect Kenny Pickett. That has to be the number one priority. And right now, Dan Moore simply has him beat on that. Now, it's definitely going to be interesting to see what happens with Jones on Friday. I think that he's going to play when he's ready this season. And, you know, when it just comes to this week, I want to see him run somebody over on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He's probably going to play quite a bit, so I want to see what he can do against that NFL caliber defense. And I think that he's going to do a really nice job as a run blocker this weekend, and he's going to have a nice day that I really think is going to be good. And what's nice about Broderick is that they don't need to rush him. Okay, you got a guy in Dan Moore Jr. that you trust on the field, so you don't have to rush Broderick Jones in to start when he's not ready, right? I use the analogy, you know, with cookies in the oven. You want to wait till those cookies are done, and then once Broderick Jones is ready to go, you pull that sucker out of the oven and you go eat, okay? And I think Broderick Jones, when he's ready, he's going to be a really darn good player, but it might just not be by week 1. But now let me know who you think is going to start week 1 for the Pittsburgh Steelers at left tackle. Do you think it's going to be Dan Moore Jr.? Give me a DM. Or if you think it's going to be the rookie out of Georgia, Broderick Jones, give me a BJ down there in the comment section. This is going to be the pinned comment on today's show. So YouTube's going to throw you an ad break here in just a couple of seconds. Take advantage of that time by answering today's pinned question. Another position battle I'm going to be keeping a close eye on tomorrow night is slot cornerback. And Chandon Sullivan right now is the presumptive starter. Right now he is listed as the number 1 slot corner on the unofficial depth chart that the Steelers put out earlier this week. But Elijah Riley is somebody that is coming up fast on the depth chart. He is moving up. He is making plays. He is picking guys off. He is making splash plays at practice. And if he continues to play really, really well in these preseason games, Chandon Sullivan, a guy that really struggled with the Minnesota Vikings last year in the slot, could be on the chopping block in terms of a starting spot this year. So I really want to see how Elijah does. I want to see how Chandon does. And I want to see how this dynamic plays out throughout the preseason. Now, I've got more position battles to go over here in just a second, but first, a word from our sponsor at BetUS, and they're offering you guys a fantastic bonus here of 125% deposit bonus when you go to chatsports.com/bet and use promo code Steelers125. Now, what does a deposit bonus mean? It means when you put in a deposit of $100 to $600, BetUS is going to give you 125% of that money back to you to use on your bet. So if you put in $100, you're going to get $225 total dollars. That's $125 additional dollars to spend on potentially the Buccaneers Pittsburgh Steelers preseason game. It's preseason, guys. It's fun to bet on these things. It's fun to bet during the preseason because it's really like the game is like, who cares? No one really cares if they win or loses. But if you have a bet on it, it is a lot of fun. Right now, you can go over and under. You can pick 'em. All these different things that they have on the BetUS website. You can check it out right now. Go to chatsports.com/bet and use promo code Steelers125 to get that 125% deposit bonus. This weekend, it's pick 'em for the favorite, right? So just pick a winner, pick the Steelers, and then total over under is 39 points. If you think it's going to be over that, go ahead and use promo code Steelers125 at chatsports.com/bet today. Now let's talk about inside linebacker. And listen, Cole Holcomb, is going to be the number 1 inside linebacker for the Pittsburgh Steelers. He's pretty much locked that down already in camp right now. The mullet in the middle is doing fantastically against the run, against the pass. He's had a couple really nice pass deflections, and it looks like he's taken yet another step forward in his young career. He looked pretty good as an athlete there with the Commanders over the last couple of years. Now he's coming in and he's looking like a true pro, and he's going to be that number 1 starter in the inside linebacker room for the Steelers this year. But what I want to talk about is who's going to get that second starting spot. Who's going to play more between Elandon Roberts, who they brought in free agency, and Kwon Alexander, who they just brought in camp. I really like Elandon Roberts' run defense ability and blitzing ability. Like, he is super strong. He's super fast. He's got the athletic tools that you look for. But then Kwon Alexander, man, he is one of the best pass coverage linebackers in the league when he is healthy. We saw that when he made a Pro Bowl with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We saw that when he was a part of that San Francisco 49ers defense in 2019 when they went to the Super Bowl. And I think that he could really provide a nice veteran punch to this unit. He's been looking really good in camp to this point. Then to see that battle unfold is something I really want to see on Friday night. Now, show some love to us here at Steelers Talk by liking today's video. If you're pumped for the start of the Steelers preseason this year, go ahead and click that thumbs up icon. Really do appreciate all the support. Then we get to nose tackle here, and this is one of those where there's multiple people that could win the starting nose tackle job, in my opinion. Right now, the first guy on the depth chart is last year's starter, Montravius Adams, and he's been looking pretty decent, actually, as a pass rusher this year. Last year, his PFF grade wasn't all that great, though, at just 48.9, which was 105th out of 127 defensive tackles that were graded by Pro Football Focus in 2022, which obviously just isn't fantastic. Right now, the number 2 nose tackle is Breiden Fehoko, who has really been looking great in camp. Right now, he's commanding double teams. He's really eating up space. The run game simply can't go to the middle of the field because of this guy just absolutely planting his flag and sticking there in the run game. This guy is absolutely fantastic so far in camp. And last year wasn't all that great, but it definitely seems like he's put on some poundage. And then you got the rookie coming in, Keanu Benton, drafted in the 2nd round to potentially be the starting nose tackle for this team for the long haul. I think he's got the athleticism to eventually replace Cam Hayward as the 3 technique whenever he decides to retire. And I'm looking at a guy like Benton. He really made some nice flash plays against the run last year at the University of Wisconsin. Obviously, you draft him in the 2nd round this year, not the 3rd round. And I think that he's somebody that could absolutely rise up the ranks to this point. He's had a quiet camp, but I think that he's somebody that could definitely splash Friday night against the Buccaneers, maybe in the 3rd and 4th quarters. Now, let me know who you think is the best nose tackle on the Steelers roster right now. Do you think it's Montravius Adams? Give me an MA. Do you think it's Breiden Fehoko? Give me a BF. Or do you think it's Keanu Benton? Give me a KB down there in the comments section. Then another position battle that I have for you guys here is 3rd string quarterback. And we're going to see a lot of both Tanner Morgan and Mason Rudolph on Friday night. It is the first preseason game. And last year, Mason didn't play at all, right? He was very publicly disgruntled with the way that the whole thing happened last year with the QBs. Apparently, he was a part of a quarterback competition, ended up getting 3rd string despite rave reviews out of camp, and he felt kind of slighted by the Pittsburgh Steelers last year, ends up coming back this year, and right now he's leaving the door open to undrafted free agent rookie Tanner Morgan right now because, plain simply, Rudy hasn't looked all that great in camp to this point, and Morgan has shown a willingness to throw the ball down the field with intent, with accuracy. And because of that, Rudy has definitely left the door open. Now, he definitely came into camp as the favorite to be that emergency quarterback, that 3rd QB option for the Steelers heading into the year. But if he continues to play like the way that he has in practice in these games in front of a televised audience, I certainly think that Tanner Morgan would have a shot if he plays well to get that 3rd quarterback spot, even though it will be an uphill battle for the undrafted free agent rookie out of Minnesota. And then the final position I want to talk about today is punter. Okay, this is, I can't believe I'm talking about punter here as a position battle to watch on Steelers Talk, but here we are, man, because Presley Harvin III has not done a good enough job to this point in camp to really solidify himself as the clear choice to this point in the process. Braden Mann has looked pretty darn good, and both of these guys are going to get their opportunities, most likely, to have a couple of punts in this game. It's going to be very interesting to me how these guys do throughout the preseason, because one of them is going to be coming up on top, and somebody is going to be hitting the open market. That's going to be it for today's show, guys. Really do appreciate all the support. If you want the best damn Steelers coverage for free here on YouTube, go ahead and click that subscribe button for me right now. That'll be it from me today. Steelers Nation, really do appreciate all the support. And until next time, here we go, Steelers.